Hello, thank you for joining me on another segment of What's on My Nightstand. So, this is where I talk about books and pages that is helping to shape my life and my perspective as I am reading my way back to myself, if you will. So, anyway, this is an audio book and it's The Alchemist, and it's a classic. It was written in 1988, and I don't know, for some reason I had just haven't gotten around to reading it. But anyway, what happened, I have the Libby app from our local library, and you can read books on your phone as if it's like a Kindle, or you can download the audiobook. And so I saw this. I had always wanted to, get into it, heard about it. But anyway, I downloaded the audiobook, and it was like 5 hours. I'm like, okay, I can do that, as I'm doing chores and errands and everything around the house. So again, it's The Alchemist by Paolo Coelho, Coehlo, and it was written in 1988. And the idea is that this young man, Santiago, they live in the Middle East, and so he's traveling to find his personal legend. And so, from what spoke to me as I was reading through it, so he was learning to trust his intuition, trust the omens, trust dreams. And so that just really stood out to me, because a lot of times, we can, for me personally, I found or noticed where I've talked myself out of things or second guessed myself. So that was an encouragement for me, and also just a perspective encouraging me to trust my intuition, trust that still small voice, trust God within me. We all are created in God's image and have that internal wiring to, if you've ever had an inkling about something, or a knowing, or you hear something in the quiet, and you're just like, what, this is the way that I need to go, and you head that direction, you trusted that small voice. I'll give you one example of when I did listen to my intuition, and it paid off dearly. So this particular time, I was sitting at a red light. I had just came out of a store, and anyway, got in my car and was sitting at a red light. And so as I'm facing a red light, this way there's traffic, coming across. And so at this time, the light had changed to green. And so I was about to give it gas and go. But I just heard like a still small voice was like, wait, pick up your charger, because my charger had fallen over or whatever. I mean, it was no big deal, and it really could have waited. But it was like, wait, just, get set up first, pick up your charger, and, and get your cell phone connected and everything. And so, but what I heard was just like, just wait, pick up your charger. So I did. I bent over, picked up my charger, got my cell phone back reconnected, and sat back up and was about to go. And sure enough, this big truck carrying lumber blew their red light and just came barreling through. I would have been T-boned. And I'm just thinking like, oh my God, I am so glad that I listened, for obvious reasons, because that would not have been good. But just trusting your intuition, trusting, the signs, trusting your dreams. I don't get a lot into dream interpretation, but I'm starting to pay attention more as I'm listening to other content creators that talk about dreams and how God sometimes, he can speak to us. That's the only time that he can get our attention, when we're not moving, when we're not busy, is when we're actually, on our, when we're actually resting and giving us direction, for tomorrow, for the next day, or just the trajectory of our life. So I picked up a lot of that in this book as he was traveling, his encouragement of trusting your intuition, trusting your dreams. One line that I continue to carry with me, and it has shown up in other areas of my life that I've implemented, is when he told Santiago, because Santiago had gotten something, and I'm trying to recall what it was, and he's like, well, this is too much. And he's like, Never say that something is too much, because life might hear you and next time give you less. And that has just had a profound impact on my life, because in a lot of ways I feel like I shrink back and like, oh, I don't want that much attention. I don't need that much. I don't, I want to shrink back to make other people feel comfortable or make them feel safe. Other times, I'll tell you when this also came up. I was sitting on my back porch, on my back deck, and just taking it all in, and I said, like, I grew up in the city and we were poor, and so to see where I'm living at now, like I'm sitting on my back porch, and I mean, just absolutely beautiful scenery and privacy, and just like, is this too much for me and my two kids? Like, do we have too much space? And that came to, don't say that you have too much, because next time life might give you less. And so it just got me to thinking, like, let me stop shrinking back. Let me not shrink and put myself in an old mindset or a space of where I used to be. But you know what? Let me appreciate where God has put me. Let me appreciate what life is bringing my way. And just saying yes to new things. That was also a theme in the book with Santiago, saying yes. And as you're on your journey, you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what the encounters are going to be. But being willing to open yourself up and just take the next steps. So again, like I said, The Alchemist is a classic. It was written in 1988. Highly recommended. I don't have a picture to show you of the book because it was an audio book. But also, if you don't have if you enjoy audiobooks and everything, check it, download the Libby app from your local library. You don't always have to, if you want something, not discouraging, download things from Kindle and Amazon, because I've done that too as well. But this is another option, and just a free way. You can always have something good in rotation when you have breaks in your day, that you could just sit back and, listen to an audiobook, immerse yourself into, some reading and things like that. But I don't know, this is a really good book. It was an easy listening. It had a lot of imagination. You really could see yourself in the story, and as he's traveling and everything. So it was just, highly recommended. It's an allegory. So, and that was good, because I tend to gravitate more towards like nonfiction. So I just wanted to stretch myself with that. And, but it was good. A lot of allegory. The whole story was, an allegory, but just so many symbolisms and things, and I should have, have taken better notes. But, my question for you, in what ways and what aspects have you shrunk yourself to make other people feel comfortable? And just think about that quote. Where are you saying, wow, this is too much? Maybe, maybe I don't need all this, but at the same time, life might hear you and next time give you less. So just thinking about that. What are you reading? What's on your nightstand? And have you read The Alchemist? What were some of your takeaways from it? What quotes stood out to you, or what lessons and everything? What did you gather from it? But anyway, that's just my review of it, and I hope to see you next time on What's on My Nightstand. Again, this is where I just discuss books and pages that are shaping the season of my life as I'm going through transition. And so yeah, I think that definitely plays a part. He was going through transition and learning different things and stuff like that, and that's where I'm at as well. I'm opening myself up to dreams, and trusting my intuition, trusting that still small voice, trusting that I have the answers within me, and that I can make wise decisions for myself, and ultimately, live my personal legend. We all have a desire. We all are put here for a reason, and I guess that's part of the discovery. Why are we put here on earth in this season, in this time span? and into the family and race that we were born into for such a time as this. Why? And so, anyway, happy reading. Keep me posted. Let me know what you're reading down in the comments. And if you read The Alchemist, I love your feedback and your perspective on it. Have a good day.